thanks for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and we are tracking storms across Colorado, Kansas, and Oklahoma and Texas today. Now, those main storm risks will be in Texas this afternoon, where we are expecting some marginally large hail. So what that means is most likely golf ball size for the largest hail size today, and some very strong wind gusts, those downburst-like winds expected for several storms today. Another round of storms expected for tomorrow, anywhere from South Dakota all the way down into Texas, so a lot of people included in that storm risk. And then another round of storms on the plains on Sunday. Do you guys remember last week whenever I said this weekend we're going to have storms very active across the plains? We are now seeing that come into fruition. Now here's what we have for today. Just a few little showers, nothing severe here. A flooding risk across a good portion of Oklahoma and Texas today. Missouri and Arkansas still have some ongoing rain across this area. Nothing severe again, but we are expecting more rounds of severe storms across Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. Let's look over the past 24 hours to see what storms happened yesterday. We said maybe one or two severe storms across Denver. What we did not expect yesterday are storms across Dallas. Right before the evening commute, between about 4 and 5 o'clock, we had this one little cluster of storms that went severe and produced a decent amount of hail just north of Weatherford, Texas, just outside of Fort Worth. Now, of course, this came through during the evening commute. A lot of people were on the roads. It was severe warned just as it crossed I-20 and then lost that severe thunderstorm warning shortly after that. Then our focus returned up to Colorado, where I said I'd go live yesterday if anything happened to come into Denver. Now, we thought this storm right here would make its way into Denver, but it was moving so slow at about 10 miles an hour. Still 30 miles away from Denver. It did not make it there before it fizzled out, but it did produce some quarter-size hail before it fizzled out and weakened yesterday. It didn't make it into Denver, but you guys did get a decent amount of lightning and some showers yesterday. Other than that, it was an all hazards risk across the Pacific Northwest, where we had at times storms warned for 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 2-inch size hail right in the middle of Oregon. A very, very impressive storm system in this area. Now today we move away from the northwest and we move back down to the plains. So let's get into that forecast. We've got a nice low pressure system that's developed on the surface right here in Kansas and Oklahoma. That's what's bringing us all of that rain that you saw this morning. We've got another low pressure system with a nice warm front stretching across Missouri and Arkansas. That is also bringing rain as all of this moisture is coming up from the Gulf, and we are capturing that across the central portion of the U.S., either making that into storms or into those showers that are causing those flooding concerns. Now let's talk about temperatures. A nice warm up across Oklahoma City, 89 in Dallas, holy moly. So we've got the moisture, we've got the heat. Now the only thing left is we need that lift. And from that low pressure system, we'll get some decent lift. This high pressure system, it's sinking air, so it's not rising air. That low pressure system, that's rising air. So where do we see that today? It makes a move from California to Colorado. And as it does that, on the east side of this low pressure system is where we'll see those storms. So what we're watching for here is the eastern portion of Colorado, all the way down into Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. This area right here is what we're watching for the strongest storms today. As this continues to move up to the north tomorrow and on Sunday, our focus more becomes into South Dakota and Nebraska on Saturday, and then we've got another round of storms on Sunday. That'll be for places like Kansas City and Omaha, Nebraska. So let's go through that. Again, I told you, Colorado to Texas today. Tomorrow, South Dakota to Nebraska, but a few lingering showers as far south as southern Texas. Back into Kansas by Sunday, Kansas City, Omaha, Des Moines, all included in that storm risk on Sunday. So we've got 3 days of storms. We've also got some flooding issues as well. Got a level 2 flooding issue across Tennessee and northern sides of Arkansas today. Not as bad as a flooding issue for tomorrow, and then a low risk flooding issue on Sunday in Florida. As always, put your weather questions in the comments section and we can get to those here in just a few minutes. I know we're bouncing around today talking about a bunch of different cities. Let's start up first in the north. Grand Falls, we have a low risk for some strong wind today. A few of those wind gusts could get up to 70 miles an hour. Moab, also some wind possible today, but not really a hail risk out there. Your main hail risk is going to be anywhere from Greeley, Colorado, primarily, however, down into the Texas Panhandle, Amarillo to Lubbock with the greatest storm risk today. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we can expect some downbursts today. What does that mean? That means that we've got sinking air rushing to the ground, and where does it go once it hits the ground? It spreads out in all directions, creating those strong winds. So we likely will see 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts today, but I'm not ruling out an 80-mile-per-hour wind gust in this area from Amarillo to Lubbock, Texas. What about Norman today and this weekend? Well, it may be a bit rainy in Norman. Today we have a risk for some strong wind gusts in Norman, so that's just south of Oklahoma City. Let's actually go right back down into Oklahoma with your wind forecast here. There you go. There's Norman, Oklahoma, just on the very edge of this severe weather risk. We've got better chances for some strong winds into Woodward, Oklahoma City, and Norman will be in that risk today. The timeline for Norman, between 4 and 10 o'clock this evening. So you've got some time, you've got some good hours ahead of you before you get that rain back in there. What about the tornado forecast today? That'll be staying on the northeastern side of Colorado and just to the east of Lubbock, Texas. So anywhere from Lubbock all the way up to the north, just south of Amarillo, we've got that level 1 tornado risk. It's a low tornado risk, but it's something to keep an eye on. And a lot of people hop on here for the hail forecasts, so let's get into it. Maximum hail size for today, hen egg sized hail, but most of those hailstones will be smaller because it's such a high wind threat today. That hail risk may be few and far between, okay? Low hail risk up in Montana, not too worried about that. Better chances for larger hailstones between Woodward and all the way down into Midland, Texas. Larger hail just to the east of Lubbock, just to the south of Amarillo, Midland, all in that hail risk for today. I think that we can zoom down here. Oh, nope, we can't. Okay. Well, let's talk about timeline here. Your timeline for Montana is anywhere between 2 o'clock this afternoon, Central Time, into the evening hours. By the time the sun sets, that severe risk will go down. Let's move down to Colorado now, where we have another round of storms just to the east of Denver. I mean, this really just rides I-25 here and to the east of it. So Denver, do you have a chance for hail today? Very, very low. We got teased with that hail risk yesterday. It rained a lot, but we didn't get that hail risk into the city. So it's a low hail risk for today in Denver. Better chances as you head farther to the east in places like Lemon, am I saying that correctly? You guys let me know. Burlington, Colorado. Your timeline here will also be in the afternoon and evening, anytime after 2 o'clock this afternoon, Mountain Time, and into the evening hours. We'll say that that severe weather hazard cuts off right around 8 o'clock. And I didn't put Oklahoma or Texas on this map, so I'm going to actually adjust my camera here to make sure that we get to Oklahoma and Texas today. I actually want to do this for our hail risk because we have a better chance for large hail down in Texas. So let's not go into Colorado. I just think it's such a low risk for hail in this area. Let's start with Texas. How about there? Do we like that? All right. So here's your significant hail model. The deeper the colors into the orange and reds, the larger the hail is likely. We're really seeing that right around into the east of Amarillo and Lubbock as we get into the afternoon hours. Timeline for Lubbock, Texas, about 4 to 8 o'clock tonight. Timeline for Oklahoma, about 4 to 10 o'clock tonight. Maximum hail size is going to be golf ball size hail in Oklahoma and 2 inches out in Texas. I left that at a level 2 for your hail risk today in Lubbock and a level 1 for your hail risk today in Oklahoma. You can see that those storms return into the afternoon, but I think they finally intensify and go severe into the late afternoon, so right around 3, 4 o'clock and into the evening hours, ending between about 8 and 10 o'clock. What we're watching for here are going to be these isolated or discrete supercells or even multicells. You see how they're kind of clumped together in these 1, 2, maybe 3 cellular fashion. That's what we're watching for not only the strongest wind gusts, but also the largest hail. And then we have rain into the overnight hours, but again, after about 10 o'clock tonight, I'm not too worried about that severe weather risk. Any questions before we move on to our rainfall? We're good right now. Okay, we'll make sure that we get to storms tomorrow as well. We've only talked about today. We've had a lot of rain over the last 24 hours. Kansas to southern Missouri, northern Arkansas. It's that low pressure system that's kind of capturing that moisture and bringing rain very, very slowly, slow moving systems to this area. That's why we have that level 2 flood risk on the board for today. Let's go back to storms tomorrow. Did you see that eastward movement with this low pressure system? That'll be our lift for storms tomorrow, and it's moving a little bit to the northeast. So we will see a better chance for storms across the southern portion of South Dakota and northern side of Nebraska. Now, I think that anywhere in here could get large hail, but don't expect this to be an all-out hail outbreak. What we're expecting here is going to be, maybe a large hailstone down here. Maybe one right here, maybe a few in this area. Not everyone getting storms tomorrow, not everyone getting hail tomorrow. Better chances for your strongest storms will be anywhere from Rapid City all the way into McCook, Nebraska. And then that severe weather risk goes down the farther south that you go into places like Wichita and Oklahoma City. Just not as many storms in these areas. Especially as you get down into Texas, storms will be few and far between. Still, I think a few of these will go severe. You'll get that yellow severe thunderstorm warning box, and you could get up to hen egg sized hail tomorrow, going with 2 inches once again for tomorrow. Let's move on to your severe weather hazards tomorrow. Here's a look at your wind forecast. Again, a better chance for those stronger winds anywhere from Rapid City all the way down to McCook, Nebraska. And then as you go farther to the south, severe risks go down. You do have a significant tornado risk for tomorrow. It's level 1 right now, but I could see this getting upgraded to a level 2 tornado risk. And again, that's in, let's see if my graphics will cooperate here. That will be in southern South Dakota and northern Nebraska. Zoom down into that. So it's just north of McCook, Nebraska, all the way up through our highway in the southern portion of South Dakota. So there's your tornado risk tomorrow. Definitely one to watch. I could see that getting upgraded. So we've talked about Friday. We've talked about Saturday. Let's talk about Sunday. Our severe risk shifts to the east just slightly on Sunday, now including Kansas City, Omaha, Des Moines, and Wichita, Kansas. We've got some other cities in here right through the central portion of Nebraska and South Dakota. All hazards, once again, are possible here. After that, I do think that we'll have a storm risk on Monday, but I think we go into a little bit of a lull before we see that activity increase by the second week of June. Hey, Monday is the first day of June. Can you believe it? We're almost done with May. It's been a pretty quiet May for the most part. Temperatures will warm up on Sunday. Look at that nice warm up, feeling more like the summertime in Kansas and Oklahoma on Sunday and Monday. And then we do cool down for a portion of June. Let's take a look at your temperatures. Cool or about average for that first week of June. So we're talking about the 3rd through the 7th, while the West Coast stays very, very warm. And what about our rainfall? There you go. Better chances for rain down in southern Texas, about normal for the rest of the U.S., except for a little dry spot out on the West Coast. And that's your forecast today. Any weather questions before we end here? We're all good. John says we're all good. Well, thanks for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox. We'll make sure that we keep our social media updated with all storm risks and storm timeline for today. We've got a lot of things on our stories already. We will also go live if any of these storms get into our big cities like Wichita, Oklahoma City, Amarillo, Lubbock, Texas. If something happens in Denver, we'll go live for it. Follow us in the meantime on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, or give us a call at 855-334-4245 or email us at info@hailtrace.com. Head over to our website for more weather updates or more updates on how to get a subscription to our hail, wind, and tornado maps. All storms from yesterday and all of May are mapped at HailTrace.com, so you can call us for a subscription in your area. Make sure that you get it now. Don't get it when the storms hit, because at that point, you have to get trained. It's almost too late to have that information. You want that information now, so when storms hit, you're prepared, you're ready to go. Thanks for joining us. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and we'll see you back here, same time, same place for your forecast on Monday.